Big South here. Y'all already know what's going on. We rocking with more to live for. The only voice of the North. We still heating up, baby. I'm out of here. South.
Welcome back to another exclusive edition of More to Live For. Shout out to all my new subscribers, man, all the new, followers that I've been gaining this year. You know what I mean? Starting off this year with a bang, you know what I mean? I had a big Trip Mac interview, man. I got a lot of feedback from that as well as remixing some of my old joints. I got a lot of feedback from that, man. So, hey, all that's a blessing, man. So I appreciate all the support. But as normal, man, as per usual, you know what I mean? I keep my foot on the gas, so I'm right back with another hot one. You know what I mean? Like I'm always exploring, you know what I mean, the lifestyle of our incarcerated brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Mainly to showcase the creativity as well as the determination, um, you know what I mean, to get back on the outside and as well as the inspiration that they can be to other people. So like I'm right back with it. So I got a familiar guest. You know what I mean, a familiar guest to the channel, but you know what I mean, due to security reasons, we're gonna just rock out on the audio. But anybody that's been rocking with me for the journey, you already know who he is. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself and we can get the conversation rolling. What's good with y'all?
What's good? What's good? What's going on, man? First of all, I just want to say thanks for having me, man. It's an honor and a privilege, man. And I salute to you, bro, for
For
everything that you're
sure,
doing, bro. Shining light.
for
But
sure, man.
to the ones that's watching, man, and don't know me, my name is Alfred Darnell. I also go by Dolo the Truth, musician, and I'm also got my own podcast, Late Night Topic, with a Z. I go by Boss Man over there. So yeah, man, that's who I am.
Oh yeah, definitely, man, definitely. So well, you know what I mean, like I said, man, like you a familiar face of, you know what I mean, to the channel, man, and to everything that I got going on. But you know what I mean, I have gained a lot of subscribers in the last few weeks, and I mean a whole lot. So if you could, man, without getting into too many details, man, can you tell the people a little bit about yourself, man, and what you got going on?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna give y'all a little quick version, man. Well, like I say, I'm Alfred Darnell, man. I've been incarcerated for 15 years, or I got incarcerated when I was 19, or for a homicide and armed robbery charge, or when and I was sentenced to life plus 10, life sentence for the homicide and 10 years for the armed robbery. But throughout my journey, man, I have grew and developed. And I began to read books, man. When I first got incarcerated, I didn't know how to read. And I taught myself how to read, you know what I mean? So I began to read books, and then I just had the idea one day I want to write my own book. And I wrote my first book, and it was a success. So I just continued to write. I got 7 books I've written and published, self-published on Amazon, under Alfred O'Neill. Or I started my own podcast, or clothing line, or my own record label. So I just kept, each and every day I just keep scribing as I continue to fight for parole eligibility. Or I just take every day in consideration, and I try to be better than the person that I was the day before. You know what I mean? And
All right.
I just keep striving, and I do it. I do it for self improvement, self growth, but I also do it for people that's in the free world, and they like feel like, oh, the white man got his foot on my neck, or I don't have the money to do it, I don't have the resources, and I want people to look at me and be like, well, if he able to do it in that type of environment, that type of situation, or with limited resources, I know I'll be able to do it too with no excuses. So that's another reason why I do what I do. You know what I mean?
That's what it is, man. That's what it is, man. You said a lot, you know what I mean? But one thing I can tell, the subscribers, man, the people that's watching, man, like if you want to get the full Alfred Darnell story, man, like I said, he a familiar face to the channel, man. So, he gave y'all, kind of like I said, the fast version, but for to get the full
Right,
story,
right,
man, several videos on my channel as well as his, man, that y'all can go and get a better understanding of how he got where he at, and some of the things that he got to go through or whatever. But like with that being said, man, like like we spent a lot of time, talking about prison stuff on all the other videos that we did, but
right,
naturally, we got to talk about that because that's your reality. Unfortunately, that's your reality or whatever. So like when moving forward, man, and like I think you can start to, like feel the vibes like in the conversations that we have, whatever. Like I told you from the start, man, like, it ain't just all about, just content or whatever. So like, like so when we discuss things or whatever, like I'm talking to you like, somebody in the free world or whatever.
right, right,
So
right.
so
Which you always have, bro. You always have, bro.
Exactly. So with that being said, man, like we're gonna kind of like shift gears, in this interview or whatever, man. Like I want to talk about like, the things that you got going on now. 2025 or whatever. Like I
Oh,
seen I seen uh several posts from other people on social medias on several different platforms of the book that you got out right now, or your your latest novel, so like if you could, man, could you kind of talk about like the the creativity about behind putting out that urban novel, as well as all the other books that you put out, man, because like you said, man, like you're a motivation for people in the free world to do things, but that don't mean that like the people in the free world still ain't held accountable or whatever. So like that's
right,
big
right.
stuff that you're doing. Like no matter if you were on the outside or whatever, that's still big or whatever. So like if you could, man,
Yeah,
can you kind of talk about that?
yeah, yeah. I would love to, man. I was reading urban fiction novels, and mostly people that doing time. That's what they gonna turn to read. You know what I mean? Because they can relate. You know what I mean? So I'm reading, but then I started noticing, like, man, it's different books, but with the same plot, the same story. Dope boys and all this here, the cartel. It's the same thing, different books, and some of them even had the same name. Most every book I read had a Supreme in it. You know what I mean?
Right,
And so I was like, man, I think I can write an urban fiction novel. You know what I mean? And so I just wanted mine to be different. I didn't want to be about no trolls. I wanted to be different. And when I wrote my urban novel, I was writing it as if I already had future plans. Like, okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write it as a novel. But at the same time, I want to eventually, in the future, turn it into a film. You know what I mean?
right,
Or a film series like that. So that's how I wrote it. I wrote it with action. I wrote it with drama. I wrote it with plots and twists, and I wanted it to be different. I wanted my first book to catch them, you know, and just like reel them in to the point where even when they wanted to stop at that chapter, they couldn't because it was still punting through their mind. And
right,
once I published the first one, it's entitled Pineapple Passion. That's the series, Pineapple Passion. Or, you know, I put it out and people was telling me like, "Hey man, this is a good book, man." And I was steady getting positive feedback, like, "Man, keep going, keep going." So, I didn't really know how it was gonna turn out, and I cut it off with a good cliffhanger. And I did a lot of research before I just wrote it. Now, I did some research on how to do it and stuff like that. But and it turned out like how I imagined. Like people couldn't put it down. People still tell me today, like, and to have people hit you up and be like, they read in the book and they be like, so what happened to Trina and what Bishop gonna do now that he found out this? You know what I'm saying? You're talking about just it's just a story that you made up in your head. That's all
Right.
it is. It's just a story that you use your imagination that made up in your head, and you got people in the world like reeled in to the point like they you a real author. You know, they want your signature. They want just you signing a book and giving it to somebody. And I'm gonna say this right here, bro. I was at a I was at a different compound, man, and I was in class and the dude was talking about, yeah, man, I'm thinking about writing me a book, man. And I told him, like, man, you should go for it, man. You know, because I don't have the image of an author. You know, most authors they gotta wear glasses and look nerdy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I told him like, man, I done published like 4 books, man, you should go for it. And I can tell he thought I was like blowing smoke up his rear. So I went in my unit and I came back out with Pineapple Passion Book One, and I showed it to him. And you know, he flipped it over. He seen my picture on the back of it. Now he's interested. Like, man, this dude really wrote and published the book. Like, this is his book. So I told him, I said, look, check this out. I took a pen and I signed it. You know, so I said, you can have it. That's yours. You know what I'm saying? Just that little, me giving him my book and I signed it, you know what I'm saying? It motivated him to, you know what I'm saying, do the same thing. Because when a
Right.
person tell you about doing it, you be like, all right, yeah, I know I can write a book. But when they showing you like, man, he in my same predicament and he wrote and published a book. So I know I can do it now. You know what I mean? Because I seen it with my own eyes. So you know what I'm saying? And that feel better than selling it to me. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Hey, look, something that crossed my mind, man, that I never really you know what I mean, share with you, like, you know what I mean, like the backstory or whatever. Um, I hope this computer don't die on me. I really do. But like the homie Rashad or whatever, he had a book that he was trying to put together, and
Right.
you know what I mean, some people that's close to him or whatever, you know what I mean, kind of like he had kind of like sent the whole script out or whatever, and then like the people that he sent it to kind of crossed him up about it for a little bit or whatever. But like he ended up getting it back or whatever. But like when I was telling him about you or whatever, and like all the books that you put out. So like, what would if you could, man, if you could tell the homie, you know what I mean, give him a little piece of advice, like what you think his next step would be, because like he's scheduled for release next year.
Yeah, see, this what I did, man, because I was afraid of their problem too, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because people, they'll take your manuscript, man, and especially if you ain't got it copywritten and all that, they would, you know, they'll take your stuff and, you know what I'm saying? They'll do away with it. They'll use it. But what I advise self-publish, you know what I mean? But see, the
Exactly.
thing about with self-publishing, you got to put in a lot of work. You got to promote. You got to, because if you don't promote it, you ain't going to get no sales. If you don't get no sales, you don't get no revenue. Your book is not going to get no notoriety. Like, you got to do everything. See, a lot of reason why a lot of people want to go to big time publishers because all you got to do is pay them and they name going to get it out there for you. They going to publish it. They going to promote it. They going to put it on stores, on bookshelves. You know what I'm saying? But it's a big chance that you might get messed over in the process. You know what I mean? So self-publishing is the way to go. It's just a lot of work you got to put in. So what I did, and I give people the game. I don't care about giving people the game. You know what I mean? What I did was went to Amazon uh, KDP, AmazonKDP.com. That's for anybody that's listening and got a manuscript in it. You go to AmazonKDP.com, and the KDP stands for Kindle Direct Publish, and you can self-publish, and it'll show you like each sale you get for the month. It'll show you your royalties. Uh, you can make it where Amazon, like each book, Amazon will get 70%, you'll get 30%, or you get 70% and Amazon get 30%. It just it varies on your price that you set for your book. You know what I mean? And to explain it more, if you let Amazon get 70%, you do that only if you like a well-known name. If you got a big fan base, if you know you put out a book and you're gonna sell thousands and thousands of copies, then you know it ain't that 30% gonna be good to you. But if you just not starting off, you might want to get your 70%, you know what I mean? Because you
Right.
might not sell that many books, you know what I mean? So you might want to get your 70%, you know what I mean? But if you know you one of the people that you're gonna put out a book and you'll sell like 20,000 copies and 30,000 copies, then yeah, that 30%. Either way it go, you win. But that's the best advice for me. Like self-publish, man, and research. Do your research. Don't go by just what a person tell you. Don't even go by what I tell you, because you might research and find something that I didn't see. So like, do your research. You know what I'm saying? Take note of what I'm saying. Take note of what people saying. But
Right.
do your research, man. You know what I mean? And that's why you'll be reinsured, man. But I hope the homie Rashad White, man, you know, oh, I wish him peace and blessings, man. I hope, you know what I'm saying, he grasped it and he do his thing with it, man. Because once he gets started, I'm telling you, once published and wrote that first one, it's like I became addicted. Now I'm 7 books, you know what I mean? And I'm working on another one. And it's just, the more people tell me like I need to keep going and your book is dope, I couldn't put it down, and just talk about my books and all that. Like, when the next one coming out, yeah, that motivates me, bro. For real.
I heard that. I heard that, man. Definitely, man. That's something that I always you know what I mean, I always been meaning to ask you, but then never get around to it because you know what I mean, like we talking about other things or whatever, but like that's something that you know what I mean he went through or whatever, but like I said, he got it back. So that's like the next step for him, man. So like and like you said, you motivating people in your
Mhm.
situations like the homie Rashad and you know what I mean, people in the free world too. So like I always want, you know what I mean, to anytime
Right,
that we get
right.
a project, I always want to make sure I mention that or whatever. So like something else, you know what I mean, that I seen a lot on social media, man, along with the book that you got going on. Like I understand, like, you know what I mean, right now, like you know what I mean, in the process of like going to barber school and all that.
Right, right, man. Yeah, one day, man, I was like, man, I want to get my barber's license. Well, you know, I've been talking about this since I was a kid, man. Since I was like 8, I used to sweep my uncle's barber shop. Like, he used to pay me $3 a day, man, to sweep what they had in his barber shop. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even about the money. It was just the fact that I was in the barber shop, and you know what I'm saying. Just the way the fellas hung out in there. You know what I mean? It's just everything. I used to just like it. You know what I'm saying? The way the guys looked, like the way they came in, and then the way my uncle and them used to cut them up, and the way they confidence was when they looked in the mirror and left out. You know what I mean? And I
Right.
just
Yeah.
liked it. I liked the smell. I like the smell of the quad. And people that don't know what quads is, they just like disinfected, the blue disinfected that y'all see in there. I like the smell of everything. You know what I'm saying? I just liked it, boy. I just fell in love with it. So as a kid, I always said like, I want to learn how to cut hair. I want to learn how to cut hair. So I first learned with the raisin comb, you know what I'm saying, which to me is the hardest, you know what I mean? But
Right.
so eventually I just stayed down until I got to where I can get into barber college. And now that I'm in it, man, like I've been going strong, man, you know, like I be glad when the weekend over with so I can go back, man, you know what I mean? Because like this is where I wanted like for a long time. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I don't mind that I'm in prison and I had to get it in prison. It don't matter as long as I got it, you know what I mean? Uh,
Exactly.
so yeah, man, you know, and I've been pushing it, man, and eventually, you know, I wanted to open my own barbershop, and I wanted to name it after my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Uh, May she rest in peace, man. I want to name it after my grandmother, Martha Harris. You know, so I was gonna name it Miss Martha's Barbershop. You know what I mean?
Right.
And most definitely, like, man, you know, and like the barber instructor was telling, like you gotta have a plan. You can't just get out and be like, okay, I'm gonna open my barbershop. You ain't got no fans, you ain't got no clients, you ain't got no customers or nothing. You know what I mean? So
Right.
first, I was just gonna get out and I was gonna start Miss Martha's Stop and Chop. You know, so then I was just gonna go around and you know what I'm saying, stop and chop basically. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
yeah, I was gonna start like that, and then eventually once I get my clientele up, then open Miss Martha's barbershop. Then eventually add a salon in it. You know, just keep on elevating and growing and branching. You know what I mean? Just keep on
exactly,
pushing it,
man.
man. Just keep my
Cause
grandmama
like
name alive, man.
not only with that, but like with everything else that you got going on, man. You know what I mean? Like it's something got to hit. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact that you're doing it from the
Right,
inside, you already getting it done from the inside. So like, you know what I mean? Like I know the people don't like to, you know what I mean? They ain't gonna like to see that. They ain't, you know what I mean? They ain't gonna understand it. But like you getting it done from the inside. So like what you would be on the outside, you know what I mean? They shouldn't even be in the question. But of course, people gonna you know what I mean, judge you by what got you there, whatever. So like
Oh yeah, most definitely,
keep
most
doing
definitely, man.
you know what I mean, all the good that you're doing, man. You know what I mean? Cause like you motivating others, man, and you got something good going, like with you know what I mean, not only the novels that you putting out, like on some real shit, man. Like that's big boy top dog type shit. You know what I mean? Like to be able to put a book out, man, because like you said, man, like not only did you come in knowing how to shoot a gun but not knowing how to read, but it's a lot of more people like that. You know what I mean? And for to be able to like
Exactly.
overcome, you know what I mean, like not necessarily a disability, but like to overcome, you know what I mean, not knowing, you know what I mean, being illiterate to overcome that and to be putting out books, man, like that's top dog shit, man. So like salute to you for that, man.
Right,
So
man.
yeah, man. So
Like
like
for the people that's for the people that's tuned in, I mean to cut you off, bro, but for the people that's tuned in, the ones that can get a better understanding, you know, y'all can go back and look on this channel, man. We did a episode about it, man. I put out my first book, and it's called Know Thyself, and that's 10 guidelines to mastering oneself and becoming successful. So when y'all read that book, man, it'll give you a better understanding, you know what I mean, and a clearer version, or it'll bring you up to speed to what me and more to live for what we've been through, like you know what I'm saying, how you just stay down, man, and like how you overcome your situation and just stay focused, you know what I'm saying? First you
oh,
gotta know yourself, man. You know what I mean?
exactly.
You can't let nobody dictate what you do, or family, friends, lovers, nobody, man. Once you put your mind to it, you gotta stay down to it, man, because you the only person that can keep you stagnant, man. You the only person that can keep you from achieving your goals and set that out. You know, and there can't no prison walls do it. I tell people all the time, they be like, "Oh man, you locked up." No, I'm not locked up. I'm on vacation. I'm only confined by the walls that I built around myself. You understand? So,
Mhm.
and I stand tall on it. You know what I mean? I stand tall on it. Like Frederick Douglass say, without struggle, there can be no progress. So anytime that you struggle, just remember, it's you in a progress. You progressing. Now, if you're not struggling, you're not progressing at all. You just at a
Brothers
standstill. You
hustle.
remain stagnant. So I just wanted to put that out there, man. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
just wanted to put that out there, bro.
For sure, man. For sure, man. Definitely, man. Like I appreciate all the good game that you spitting, man. You know what I mean? Because like it's definitely you know what I mean, it's definitely needed. It's definitely needed for not only, you know what I mean, people that's going through it, but the youth as well, man. But the main message, man, that like you said, man, the main message every time we link up and do a project is, you know what I mean, don't let your situation define you. Like you said, man, like you ain't letting them walls confine you. You know what I mean, or whatever. So like that's what it's all about, man. Understanding, you know what I mean, where you at, what you got going on, because like at the end of the day, you got to stay alive. You feel me? So like with that, that's saying a lot, but you understand what I'm saying. So you know what I mean. But understanding where you at and what you got going on, but overstanding, you know what I mean, any type of barrier that's in your way, and that's definitely what you doing. So, like I said, man, every time we link up, man, I definitely got to mention that, man. But something else, man, that I can't, you know, what I mean, not mention while we doing this project, man. Like, so I heard you say something about parole, like up here where we
All right.
at, North Carolina, man. Like, I really don't know how in the hell that parole system work. I promise Rashad been trying to explain it to me because like I've been telling him that like, yo, you've been down since '08 and your scheduled release date 2026. Like, why you can't get out now? You know what I mean? Like that's why I've been trying to push it him or whatever. But like in your situation, man, like how is that going for you being I remember the last time we did a project, like you were kind of going through it, you know what I mean, like with a former lawyer that you had, man. So like anything changed with that?
Right, right, right. Yeah, man. I really haven't heard from her, man, because I had my lady call, man, and she was telling my lady like, "Oh, I don't do those cases. I don't do those cases." But she charged me 5,000 to give me a parole date, and I was paying by like little payment plan, a little small amount here, maybe 200 here too. But make a long story short, I had paid her 1,300 on it, and I owed her 37.
Right.
So she was telling my lady like, nah, I don't represent him, I don't know him and all that. So I had to take pictures. Good thing I saved it. You know what I'm saying? And to anybody that's doing time, man, any paperwork you get from anybody that's legally, save it. I don't care, man. Save it, man, because later on it's gonna come in handy, man. Just like this situation. If I want to save those receipts, you know what I mean? And so it would have
Right.
been her word against mine, you know what I mean? So I saved the receipts and I took a picture, show my lady, and the lady was like, "What? Like she just flat out told me she didn't know you, but the proof was in the pudding, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Receipts don't lie, man, you know what I mean? So no, we still fighting trying to get that little bread back from her because you know what I'm saying, it is needed, you know what I mean? But for as my parole, you know what I'm saying, in Mississippi, it's a house bill. It's a house bill 585, man, and in section 40. And that's what I filed my petition up on, the House Bill 585, section 40, which states uh anybody with a life sentence or natural life, you know, after serving 10 years or more, if they haven't been getting in any trouble while incarcerated and they have been like bettering themselves, taking up classes and programs and things of that nature, which I have been doing. You know, I got like 34 certificates from classes,
Right.
programs, and stuff like that that I've completed. And you know, like about 300 signatures from my online petition. I put that in there. You know, I put the letters of recommendation in there from friends and families. You know, uh, and I put the comments in there as well that people were saying. So you know, I know right now I had a petition the judge, so I sent that to the judge, and we as of now we just waiting on her to review it. You know, I be having my family call and whatever. I be having them call like twice a week or 3 times a week sometimes, and just to see if the judge reviewed it. And once the judge review it, all thing she got to do, she gonna look at it, and if she decides like, yeah, I feel like he deserves a change, I feel like he deserves parole, then that's when she
Right.
gonna forward it to parole board, and they'll set me a date, and you know, go from there, man. Once they set me a date, then you know. But I got faith, man. I already prayed about it, man. You know, even before I sent the petition out, I prayed over it, like, man, you know, I put it in his hands, so I already know it's just patience of virtue, man. You know, and
Oh yeah.
maybe God just wait until I get my certification, man. You know, so I just be patient, man. But I got faith, like, you know, because I've been following the guidelines and everything. I meet the criteria, so I don't see why not. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
basically why I'm. That's basically where I'm at, man. I'm just waiting on the judge to review my petition, man.
That's what it is, man. And anybody that's watching, man, that got some legal representation, man, or know somebody that knows somebody. I went to school with a lot of people that turned into lawyers, so hopefully one of them catch wind of this. But um, representation matters, man. And I remember we were touching on like, well, you kind of described it like how you can end up with a shady lawyer or people, you know what I mean? People gonna be
Right.
people, man. So like, regardless of what the title is, man, but you kind of, you know what I mean, sum that up. So I don't want to really dig too much into that, man. But as always, man, like when we do these projects, man, your security is more important than any content, man. So you know what I mean, we've been rocking out for a while, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap things up, man. So like anything you want to tell the people, man, anybody you want to shout out, man, I definitely want you to plug all your brands in, you know what I mean, your channel, and you know what I mean, tell the people where they can find your books at, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
you know, etc.
Yeah, most definitely, man. First of all, I just want to thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man, for having me again, man. You know, it was a dope episode, dope content, man. And you know, man, ever since I hit you up there one day, man, you know, we've been locked in, rocking, and even for the ones that don't know, man, even when like even like for the show, man, you know, you call in, check in on me, man. You know, it was
Right.
times I needed you to handle business for me, you handle it for me. So man, you know, it to the people that don't know, man, like it's like a brotherhood, man. It's bigger than the podcast, man. But you know, we actually talk and chop it up with each other on the back end too, man. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I appreciate it, bro. Like I really do. I appreciate it, and it's not going unnoticed, man. But yeah. But if anybody that's looking for me, man, you can find me on Instagram, man, the real boss man. And I got another Instagram for my books or whatever. It's called author underscore Alfred underscore Darnell. I also got a podcast on YouTube called Late Night Topics with a Z. And I just want to shout out, I'm saying, God, I gotta give thanks to God, man,
Yeah,
whoever y'all higher power is, what I'm saying, whoever he is, man, make sure you put him first in everything. And secondly, man, I must, it's a must I do this, man. I must shout out my lady, man. I must shout out my lady, man.
for
Uh,
sure.
Shout out my lady Unique, man, because without her, man, that petition would not be in that judge's hands. It would not be on the judge's desk, man. Like she put in a lot of work day for day, bro. Like, and she listened to me. I just want you to know, like, I'm very grateful, man. Most shout out to you. Like, a lot of this wouldn't be possible, man. And I really appreciate that. You know what I mean? I know I tell you on a day to day, but I really want you to know, like, I really appreciate it because a lot of this wouldn't be possible, man. And I appreciate you for real. And
That's what it
before I go,
is.
I just want to say, man, y'all like y'all got any goals, anything like that, any vision, like stay true to it. Especially you want to be a business owner, man. When you like a mentor told me, he said, I said I want to start my own business. He said, okay, you ready to be broke? And I didn't get it. I said, no, I said I'm ready to start my own business. He said, I know you ready to be broke. He said, because when you first start your business, you finna be broke. Most definitely, you finna be
Exactly.
broke. You finna take losses, but you gotta stay down. You gotta stay with it. You gotta stay with it. And and it just ain't no excuses, man. All gas, no brakes, and ain't no excuses. Like I said, if I can do it and being inside, y'all have no excuses. Y'all can move around. Y'all got opportunities, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like go for it, man. Like go for it, man. That's all I can say. Like go for it. Stick to it.
Exactly, man. 10 toes down, man. So, yo, man, I'm gonna get ready to wrap things up, man. I definitely appreciate you, being able to do this, rock out another dope project. Shout out to Late Night Topics, man, and that's topics spelled with a Z instead of a S. So definitely check that
Most
channel out,
definitely.
man. You can find all the homie books on Amazon, man. You just get on Amazon, type in Alfred Darnell, man, and you'll be surprised what you see. So I definitely want to plug that in. Shout out to shout out to the group, man. Shout out to the Facebook group. That we got, man. Shout out to all them exclusive members, man. That we be sharing content with. This definitely gonna make its way to y'all as well. Shout out to all the new subscribers that I got, man. Like I said at the top of the video, 2025, man. Foot on the gas, man. 10 toes down, man. I'm about to be 40 out here. It ain't nothing to play with, man. So free my homeboy Rashad, man. Free my homeboy Booney, man. Rest in peace to my little homies that passed, man. And yeah, man, we just keep moving, man. Keep pushing forward, man. And free the homie Alfred Darnell as well. And definitely free the home Fire Thunder. And we're gonna keep rocking like that. Keep supporting the ones that's behind the wall as well as the ones that ain't that rock with. More to live for, voice of the North, man. Simple as that. We out.